Hey, it's Erik Miller. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the post-intro, pre-intro, intro. I'm just going to say this episode is awesome. We've got a superstar guest, and when you have a superstar guest, you're going to need to have a superstar intro. And I think that our intro after this intro, which is after the other intro, so intro number 3, is probably the greatest third intro of any real estate video of all time. And so we're about to make YouTube history. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you like this episode of Beyond the Baseboards.
Let me introduce Laura Dillion. Talk about 1 in a billion. Let me introduce Laura Dillion. 1,000 times a million is a billion.
Laura, she's a star just like the Walk of Fame. She's got crazy mad skills to check her Instagram game. It's Dillion like Bob Dylan with an I-O-N. If you wanna win, you better grab a pen. That title gal, you can love her or hate her. You can talk all your but you cannot debate her. And the reason why she's on this show, so you know she can help your business grow. Let's go. Welcome to Beyond the Baseboards. I'm Erik Miller. I'm here with Laura Dillion. Now, when you first introduced yourself to me, you were like, it's Dillion, rhymes with a billion. I thought that was super clever. And
well, it's a little more than a million, but it's less than a billion.
That's what you said. A lot of us old timers use the word social media. Not that you're an old timer. I'm just like
I say it to be politically correct, right?
Yeah. So there's lots of different facets of social media. You can't take them all on. Do you have one particular type that you're better at, or that you sort of excel at than another?
Now my true drug of choice is Instagram. Instagram is a no-brainer. You don't get put in Instagram jail. You can sell your product. You can sell your business without ever being reprimanded. Instagram is a mecca for high sales volume. You see a lot of people called influencers. It's because they've gotten enough exposure that companies pay them to promote their products. You don't see that on Facebook. Instagram has a huge platform, and it's one that I think is super easy to maneuver. And the beauty of it is I can post dual. When I post on Instagram, I automatically have it feed to my Facebook. So I'm killing 2 birds with one shiny penny. And I love that.
I'm disappointed to hear who you think is on LinkedIn, because number one, I know you're probably right. But then number 2, LinkedIn hates me. I try to post stuff on there. I don't know. I need to show some side boob. I need to do some kind of like hospital visit with some sick kids. That's all. Puppies.
You know what?
Right. There's all kinds of like my garden. I got to do all kinds of Facebook stuff now for LinkedIn. Have you noticed that? Like, what are the trends there?
I haven't. I was doing LinkedIn for quite some time, and I was getting a lot of traction. But what I found, I was getting
braggarts. I'm getting no traction. They all hate me.
Well, I was
like angry with them. I'm fighting with them now. I'm like, I dare you to look at this, you losers.
Well, I was getting recruited way too much, and it was too much, so I stopped. But I don't think you need to show side boob. Oh, sorry, my dog Mira is in the background. I don't think you need to show side boob, but if you do, I can send you some great side boobs. They won't be mine because I'm 51, but they'll be good side boobs.
No offense. After COVID, I got some great side boobs myself.
Hey,
I'm not lying. I have no clothes I fit into now. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but whatever.
You're not the only one. And so now I started intermittent fasting because I'm going to get back into my pre-COVID clothes.
Uh-oh. Overall, you're talking to a new agent. I know you talk to lots of agents. You give them lots of advice. You help them. Right. Overall, what are some things that you can share with real estate agents that are brand new? Everybody thinks the market's going to implode right now, which we'll talk about later. But if you're a brand new real estate agent, what advice are you going to give them?
They just need to have exposure on who they are as a human. They just need to show people what they love to do, where they hang, what they love, because people, it's all about connections. We work with real estate agents to sell our home or to help us buy a home, first and foremost with somebody that we connect with. And if not, it tends to be a mistake. And so then they tend to choose the second agent to somebody who they connect with. A lot of times people make mistakes and they choose somebody has done a lot of business or seems to know the market, and that's not always the right fit. So I teach real estate agents to be their authentic self and always to be learning and getting better at their trade so that can become a master negotiator, for example, because now, especially in today's market, June 10th of 2021, they need to be able to negotiate. They're going to get 15 to 30 offers on their listing. They need to be a master negotiator. And that was true 10 years ago. You need to know how to negotiate, but now even more so than ever. So educating them, going to every class. If they've already, they're a brand new agent, they have all their credits, CE credits. But when you see a class offered, go to it, learn more, especially the ones that interest you, because that's knowledge is power and education is king, right? So the better they can become educated in the market and in the tools of real estate, the better they're going to be.
You just brought up a really good point, which is if you're a new agent, you don't need to be intimidated by all the numbers and all the successes of the other people, because in the end, what's best for the home buyer is not the numerical, success of the agents that have already been there. It's the connectivity of the agent that you have. So if you're an agent, right, that can connect with people and will really work for people and, help them, then it doesn't matter how much experience you have. You are actually the best fit for that buyer if you're the best fit for that buyer. What advice can you give to home buyers that either should they buy, why should they buy, or maybe they should, if they want to buy or they have to buy, what's the best way for them to be successful?
I definitely think if they're ready to buy, that they should not wait. We know, and especially I know, being in the business 20 years, I know you've been in the business about the same amount of time. The prices are not dropping. History is there for you to look back and see. Prices are not going down. They have moments and they have times within a year that they dip, but they don't dip and stay down. Okay. For the most part, prices rise, and prices are at pretty high right now because of the market and because of the demands. And I don't see them dipping. The Cromford report doesn't see them dipping. News doesn't see them dipping. And we've had some incredible interest rates. I mean, my rate's below 3. I never thought I'd see it below 3. Mm-hmm. I think we will again in 20 years, maybe, but I don't have a crystal ball. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's ready to buy a house and they're renting, especially, what are you waiting for? Quit throwing money away.
Because the rental rates, no matter what else people think, the rental rates are not going down. There's never been a time in history where it's like, oh, rent's cheaper than it was last year.
They're going up even higher than the real estate housing home buying market is. Mm-hmm. And so, quite frankly, it's not, you can't just show up and smile pretty in new lipstick and get a lease without any money down. It costs almost the same monetarily put down money for a lease as it does for a home. And as the lender, I would never speak for the lending piece of it. People can buy money without any money down, and they can buy, a home, and with very little money down. So why would they rent? It never makes sense.
That's a really good point. Can you expand on that? You're saying nobody thinks about this. When you're renting a place, you can't just walk into a rental with no money. It costs money to rent a place now, and you have to have good credit now.
Now, I'll say this. You can rent a nice apartment without any money down because they do other things to space it out. So you pay it. But your rent on a nice apartment, because my niece and nephew did it for years, was $2,500 a month for less than 1,200 square feet, 2 bedrooms in Scottsdale. So if you want to do that, that's literally throwing your money down the tube. But if you want to rent a home, you have to put first and last month's rent down, and the average rent right now, I don't know if people know this, is $1,700 a month. That is not for a big house. So now you're looking at $3,400. A typical cleaning deposit is $500. So 34 and 5 is 9, right? 3,900, sorry.
Yeah.
There's also a application fee of several $100s, probably $200. So now we're at 4,100. So I'm pretty certain, even in the market the way it is, people can buy a home with $4,100 out of their own pocket.
So, okay. So, last thing, the home tours are not a thing anymore. They've sort of phased out for obvious reasons.
Yes, just because we know homes are selling 5 days before they physically go active. So it's no point right now.
Mm-hmm. But
They'll be back.
They're going to be back though, right? Because
Be
as we know,
vengeance.
Yeah, it doesn't. So why do you say that? Why do you think they'll be back with a vengeance?
Well, because once we get, the average listings every year in my mind, my opinion, I know because I checked MLS since the day I started, average has been anywhere from 18,000 listings to 26,000 listings. I'm only talking single family homes. I'm not talking about condos.
Maricopa County.
Right? In Maricopa County. We're at 3,345 as of yesterday. So once we get to 25, 20, even 18,000, 20,000, there's going to be opportunity for listings. They're not going to be selling. When we don't have so many buyers and so few listings, it's going to be the natural progression to get exposure again because we have more inventory than people interested. Not that we really do legitimately, but we do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when that happens, we're going to be there again.
So one thing to think about is everybody takes it from like in a normal market, we should be at about 18,000 is what you're saying, right?
I mean, 20, maybe we've been so jaded by this last year. It's probably more like 24,000, 18 to 24.
Okay. So that means we're only 15 to 20,000 houses away from a completely normal market.
Only.
Yeah.
I'm only $20,000 away from having $20,000 in my bank account.
Well, my theory is how many people right now are behind on their mortgage, not making their mortgage payment, not getting hit on their credit report for having not made their mortgage payment. They're sitting on mad equity, but don't want to pay the house and don't want to catch it up anymore. Do you think there's 20,000 of those in the Valley?
No, but I think there's a handful, at least 1,000, maybe more.
How many small-time investment property owners are not getting paid their rents and are falling behind on those mortgages, but can't kick out their tenants? And as soon as they're able to, they're going to sell their house. Do you think there's 20,000 of those on the market available out there?
There's a lot.
Well, thank you, Laura Dillian. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise. I really appreciate you as a person. If you get a chance to work with this lady, she's so awesome. If you're a business person.
I love talking to you because every time I talk to you, you always tell me how awesome I am. So will you call me every day?
You are awesome. You are a force of nature. It's amazing. A fact.
I appreciate you so much.